Ever feel like you're trying to hear a whisper in a hurricane when you look at the financial markets? I mean, one day everything's up, the next it's all down, and it seems like everyone has a totally different story about why. So, how do you find the real signal in all that noise? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's that emotional roller coaster we all know. One day you feel like an absolute genius because you bought the dip, and the very next you're questioning every single decision as those red numbers flash across the screen. It's this constant drama, this dance, that keeps us totally glued to our screens.
And what's the soundtrack for this crazy dance? Well, it's narratives. These are the big, loud, attention-grabbing stories that are literally screaming for you to listen. You know the ones. Headlines like, AI is the new internet, every company needs it now, or this recession is going to be the worst in a generation. They're powerful, they're simple, and they're built to get an immediate emotional reaction out of you. And of course, when one of those narratives really starts to catch on, that's when hype turns the volume up to 11. It takes a simple story and just blasts it through a megaphone. All of a sudden, it feels less like a rational investment and more like this frantic race. That FOMO, the fear of missing out, kicks in, and logic pretty much just goes right out the window. So yeah, all of this leads us to what we're calling the market's loud dance. It's this mix of narratives and hype that creates this chaotic, distracting, and incredibly loud performance. And it's all designed to pull you right onto the dance floor. Which, brings us to the most important question of all. In the middle of this loud, chaotic ballroom where literally everyone is shouting different dance steps at you, how do you find your actual direction? How do you even know which way to move? Well, the answer, it turns out, isn't to try and listen harder to all the shouting. It's to start listening for the silence. Because beneath all that noise, there's something else happening. It's what our source calls data's silent move. This is the absolute key. While all those narratives are shouting on the surface, something way more powerful is moving underneath, and that's data. And we're not just talking about stock prices here. This is stuff like user growth numbers, supply chain logistics, customer churn rates, the fundamental metrics that do their work in silence, without any of the drama or the hype. And this really breaks it down, right? You've got these two opposing forces. On one side, narratives and hype. They're loud, they're emotional, and honestly, they're designed to distract you. But on the other side, you have data. It's silent, it's factual, and it's foundational. They're playing two completely different games. So what makes this silent data so powerful? Well, it's the true driver of long-term market direction. Critically, it moves before the crowd catches on and a narrative even gets formed. Think of it like a deep ocean current, quietly shaping the whole journey, while the narratives, they're just the noisy, chaotic waves crashing on the surface. Okay, so if we can learn to ignore those waves and focus on the deep current, what do we find? Well, that brings us to the real goal of this whole process, finding structured truth. Let's be really clear about what this means. Structured truth. It isn't some gut feeling or a hot tip you get from a buddy. It is the market's underlying reality, and it's revealed only by digging into the data. It's like looking at the architect's actual blueprint instead of just listening to a bunch of people argue about how beautiful the finished building is going to be. It's the signal, not the noise. And this right here is the core idea from our source material. In the end, luck runs out and emotions, they'll lead you astray. But true, sustainable intelligence in the market will always cut through the noise and find its way back to this data-driven, structured truth. So how do you actually get there? The path can really be broken down into 4 simple steps. First, you just have to acknowledge the noise is there, but make a conscious choice not to get swept away by it. Then, step 2, you actively start to listen for the silence. That's the space where the real data lives. From there, you just follow where that data leads, especially if it contradicts the popular story. You do that, and you'll eventually arrive at a clear, structured truth. And this isn't just a strategy you pull out every once in a while. It's a fundamental shift in how you see things. It's what we're calling the builder's mindset. Stay building is so simple, but so powerful. It means you're not a speculator. You're not a gambler who's just reacting to the noise. You are an architect. You are patiently and proactively constructing your strategy brick by brick based on the solid foundation of data. And this final call to action from our source ties it all together with a powerful reminder. This is a continuous process. You never stop. You're always analyzing, always learning, and always building your understanding on that solid foundation of data-driven, structured truth. So let's end on this thought. In a world that is practically designed from the ground up to distract you, with screaming narratives and deafening hype, maybe the most important question you can ask yourself is this: what are you building with? Are you using the flimsy materials of emotion and noise, or are you building on the solid bedrock of data? Because that choice, that's going to make all the difference.